Have you ever thought about what defines you? For Stephen Strange, the answer was simple: his hands. As a world-renowned surgeon, his identity, his arrogance, and his entire life were built on his unparalleled skill. But what happens when that's all taken away? One devastating car crash shatters Stephen Strange's hands, and with them, the life he thought defined him. This isn't just a story about magic. It's about what happens when a man who has everything loses it all and is forced to find a new reason to exist. This is the complete story of Doctor Strange, from a broken surgeon to the Sorcerer Supreme, a journey through time, magic, and the madness of the multiverse. After the accident, Strange's world crumbles. Western medicine, the field he once mastered, offers him no hope. His desperate search for a cure leads him to Kamartaj, a hidden sanctuary in Nepal. He arrives seeking a miracle for his hands, but what he finds is something far more profound. The Ancient One, the Sorcerer Supreme, shows him a reality beyond his scientific understanding, the world of astral projection, alternate dimensions, and mystical energy. But to learn this new art, Strange must unlearn everything he knows. To save himself, he must surrender the one thing he values most: control. He has to let go of his ego, his arrogance, and his belief that he knows best. This first step is the hardest, but it's the only way to begin his transformation from a man of science to a master of the mystic arts. As Strange trains, he quickly excels, his photographic memory and relentless determination making him a fast learner. He devours ancient texts, masters spells, and even begins to experiment with the Eye of Agamotto, an artifact containing the Time Stone. The Ancient One warns him of the dangers of meddling with time. But Strange's curiosity and his arrogance often get the better of him. Meanwhile, a former student named Caecilius, disillusioned with the Ancient One's teachings, steals forbidden rituals to contact Dormammu, the ruler of the dark dimension. Caecilius believes that merging Earth with this timeless dimension will grant humanity eternal life. He doesn't see that it's a terrifying existence of endless suffering. When Caecilius attacks Kamartaj and kills the Ancient One, Strange is thrust into a role he never wanted. He is no longer just a student. He is Earth's last line of defense against an all-consuming cosmic entity. Now facing an enemy far beyond his power, Strange realizes he can't win a physical fight. Dormammu is an immortal, godlike being of pure energy. So, how do you defeat someone you can't kill? Strange's solution is both brilliant and insane. He flies into the dark dimension, not to fight, but to talk. Using the Time Stone, he traps both himself and Dormammu in an infinite time loop. Every time Dormammu kills him, the loop resets, and Strange appears again with the same line: Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Over and over, Strange dies and returns, an endless cycle of agony. For an immortal being like Dormammu, who exists outside of time, being trapped within it is the ultimate prison. Defeated not by power, but by sheer, unyielding persistence, Dormammu finally relents. He agrees to leave Earth alone in exchange for Strange breaking the loop. In this moment, Strange proves he's more than a sorcerer. He's a true protector, willing to sacrifice his own sanity for the sake of the world. Years later, a new threat arrives: Thanos. On the desolate planet of Titan, Strange uses the Time Stone to look into the future. He peers through 14,605 possible outcomes of their conflict with the Mad Titan, and in all those millions of futures, they only win in one. This knowledge becomes Strange's greatest burden. Seeing millions of possible endings means choosing the one where everyone suffers, including himself. He knows what must happen for that single victory to be possible. He knows Tony Stark has to live, and he knows he has to die. This foreknowledge shapes every decision he makes from that point on. It's a terrible weight to carry, understanding the immense pain and loss that is about to unfold across the universe, all while having to guide events toward that one narrow path to victory. The moment of truth arrives. To save Tony Stark's life, Doctor Strange gives up the Time Stone to Thanos. He does this knowing it will directly lead to the snap, an event that will erase half of all life in the universe. It was the only way, he says, before turning to dust. For 5 years, he is gone, one of the countless victims of the Blip. But his sacrifice was a calculated move, a necessary step in the one winning scenario he foresaw. When he returns, brought back by the Hulk's snap, he doesn't hesitate. He rallies the armies of Earth for the final battle against Thanos, holding back an entire ocean to protect the battlefield and signaling to Tony that this is the moment, the one chance. Strange's journey comes full circle. He started as a selfish man who only cared about himself. Now he's a hero who willingly sacrifices himself and accepts universal catastrophe, all because he understands the profound responsibility that comes with his power. After the universe is saved, Strange returns to his duties as the Sorcerer Supreme, but the consequences of their actions are far from over. When Peter Parker comes to him for help, asking for a spell to make the world forget he's Spider-Man, Strange agrees. But the spell is complex and dangerous, and when Peter interferes, it goes horribly wrong. The spell doesn't just fracture, it shatters the barriers between realities. Every spell has consequences, and this one tears reality into nightmares. Villains from other universes, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Elektra, are pulled into their world, all of them connected to a Peter Parker they know. Strange wants to send them back to their fates, but Peter believes they can be saved. This conflict between pragmatism and compassion pushes Strange's magic and his patience to the limit, unleashing chaos he can barely contain, and proving that even with the best intentions, meddling with reality has a horrifying price. The breakdown of the multiverse doesn't stop there. He soon encounters America Chavez, a teenager with the unique ability to punch star-shaped portals into other universes. She is being hunted by a monstrous force that wants to steal her power for itself. That force, he discovers, is none other than Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, consumed by grief and corrupted by the dark magic of the Darkhold. Wanda will stop at nothing to be reunited with her children in another reality, even if it means destroying countless lives. Strange journeys through bizarre and terrifying universes to protect America, even encountering an alternate version of himself, corrupted by the same Darkhold he now must use. In the end, the real danger isn't monsters or magic, but what happens when power loses its limits. Strange is forced to confront the darkest reflections of himself and learns that true mastery is not about having the most power, but about having the wisdom and restraint not to use it. His journey is a constant battle, not just against cosmic threats, but against the ever-present temptation of his own immense abilities. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of Doctor Strange, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Let us know in the comments which hero's journey you want to see next.